Hi, and welcome to our third webinar of 2024. This is one of my favorite marketing topics, and you'll discover this with the passion I deliver this, because SEO is still one of the most powerful marketing strategies for every dental practice. And it carries one of the best return on investments for your practice that grows over time, unlike a lot of other marketing strategies. So today we'll be talking about how you can leverage dental SEO in 2024. And we'll also talk about the truth behind dental SEO. What are some of the myths? What are the things you should be focusing on? My name is Ian Cantle, and I'm the founder and chief digital marketing strategist here at Dental Marketing Heroes. We are a dental marketing agency that helps dentists thrive. And we do this by helping you grow your practice, growing your profitability, and ultimately growing the valuation of your dental practice so that you can sell it for more when you're done and ready to move on to your next page. Today, I'll be sharing information that I think has the potential to radically impact your practice and increase your new patient and revenue numbers and the valuation of your practice. So let me just get the screen ready, and then we will jump right in. All right. Here's what we're going to be covering today. What is SEO and what happens when you search? Why you shouldn't ignore SEO. I'm also going to be talking about that first point, which is SEO dead? You hear lots of rumors about that. The current state of SEO today, SEO tactics to avoid in 2024, the new SEO formula for dental practices, how to implement SEO, tools and resources to help you with that implementation, and tips for measuring and tracking SEO success. So, is SEO dead? It's dead, Jim. The answer is on the next slide, which is not even close. It's still one of the highest return on investment digital activities your clinic can do today. So, what is SEO? Just in case you're not super familiar with it, let's dive into a definition. So, SEO stands for search engine optimization. In layman's terms, it's the strategies, tactics, and tasks that must be employed in order to create the on-site and off-site signals that Google is looking for in order to help you rank on the Google search engine and other search engines so that your content is seen as the most relevant option to present to searchers of that topic related to your practice. So in essence, it's how do I get found on the internet? So what happens when you search? I think this is really important and it's often overlooked, but it will help you understand how search engine optimization fits into how people search. So let's look at it. Let's use the example of someone searching for a dentist near me. This is actually a super common search, and it's really important to actually rank for this search term. This is the search request goes to the Google servers. It is constantly ranking websites across a myriad of algorithmic decisions, all with the purpose of trying to present ultimately the most relevant option or selection that will make the searcher happy. There's a whole bunch of reasons for that, but Google wants to be the best search engine for a lot of different reasons. And the way they do that is by making the searcher happy with the results that they present. Some of the criteria includes the content on your website. Is your website optimized for the keywords the user is searching for? Is your website optimized for core web vitals, which we won't go into great detail at this moment, but it's really important today? Is your Google business profile optimized and is it relevant? Are you local to their search? Google knows that most people are looking for dentists close to their current location. Do you have good reviews and recent reviews? What is your review trajectory? This is really important because Google values fresh reviews. And what has happened in the past when users search for this search term, dentist near me, get presented with your website, because Google is constantly testing, hey, let's send them to this one and see what happens. So there's all these A/B tests that are constantly going on with Google. Did they stay on the website? Did they look at multiple pages on your website? Did they take a conversion action like clicking on the phone call button or filling in a form completion? And this is just a tiny example of what's going on in the background. But what's also important to understand is the results that people see on their search results. So Google first shows paid ads at the top of the page. No surprise there. That's where they make their money. So they show those at the top of the page. Then Google shows map results that are fed by Google Business Profiles and usually highly influenced by the reviews that you have on your Google Business Profile. And you'll also notice that there are paid ads within the map listings as well. And then Google shows the free organic search results that are driven by your website relevance, the pages within it, and a whole bunch of the factors, SEO factors that we're going to be talking about today. It's important to note that everything in the search results is organic except for the paid ads. It's really important to note that not all search results are equal. You'll see that between paid ads and organic listings, there is a massive disparity in click-through rates. This is really important because what this is telling you as a business is that more people click on organic listings than they do on paid listings. It doesn't mean that paid listings aren't valuable or relevant, because they are. The statistics and the proof shows that. But as you'll see, the top ad position gets on average 2.1% of all clicks on the search results. The second ad gets 1.6%. And then look at the organic results below that. The first position of organic results gets a whopping 40% of all clicks. The second position gets 18.4%. The third position gets 10%, and it continues on down. And if you get bumped down to page 2 of the results, you essentially don't exist, although Google's creating this continuous looping form of search results now that's changing that a little bit. But the higher you are, the better you will rank, obviously, but also the more click-throughs you get. The statistics show that. As you can see, it's really vital for your dental practice to be up there in the top 3 positions of organic results, if not the number 1 position. If you're in the top 3 results, you're gathering 70% of all clicks. And of course, that number 1 position gets the lion's share of those. So all of this sounds good, but you may be asking, is it really worth the effort? I've heard SEO is not easy, that it's highly complex, but is it worth the effort? As you just saw, the most clicks for searches are organic related, SEO related. And if you do SEO, you'll be attracting people that are actually looking to buy your services. They're looking for a dentist. They're looking for dental implants. They are looking to get their teeth whitened, and so on. If you aren't showing up at the top of search results, you are losing some of the best, most qualified leads for new patients that your practice could actually garner. If you're not there, your competitors will be, and they'll be getting all of those opportunities. And I have a hunch that you think you're better than your competition, and that you believe you will serve those patients better and that you deserve them. And it's really important to realize that in today's marketplace, consumers have most likely made their decision about you or the other practice before they even call or complete a form submission. This happens because of the democratization of information, and everyone has basically become a researcher of their own. So here's a real life example of an orthodontic client. We were able to increase their overall organic traffic to their website by over 340%, and they had their best year yet. And in this real world example, this dentist had already been investing in SEO with another agency, but once we earned their business, we were able to put in action a whole bunch of SEO optimizations that they weren't currently being done. And through our work, we were able to increase their organic traffic by 200%. And they had the best year yet as well for themselves. And this particular dentist saw 128 new patients from organic results alone, and that resulted in over $1 million in potential lifetime value for landing those patients, assuming that the average patient is worth about $10,000 each, which statistics show is actually a low number, and we like to be realistic. Now, there is so much disinformation out there about SEO. Let's bust some of these SEO myths, but you should be very aware of these. The first myth is that if you build a website, they will come. This is absolutely not true. First of all, not all websites are built properly, and not all websites are built with proper SEO, especially if you haven't done the proper keyword research and built the website with SEO best practices throughout. The keyword research is vital, and we'll get into that later on, but just be aware this is an absolute myth that if you build a new website, it doesn't mean you're going to rank better necessarily if the right things aren't done. I alluded to this, but myth number 2 is that all websites are built the same. This simply isn't true. And just because a web designer or an agency or a platform you might use to build your own website says they build websites with SEO does not mean it's actually true, unfortunately. And you'll learn why as we move through this presentation. Because SEO needs to be baked into the very fabric of your website. If it's not built right, it can be very costly afterwards. Think about the lost opportunity cost if you're not ranking better and better over time and getting more and more new patients. As an example, we've been working with a client whose website was built by someone else. Over the past 2 years, we've been optimizing it as much as possible, but due to the new Google Core Web Vitals requirements, we had to rebuild their website because it was just built improperly before. We had maximized the SEO we could do, but the foundational elements of that website needed to be rebuilt from the ground up. Very costly for the business, but now that we've done that, they're seeing rankings going through the roof. Websites built on some builder platforms are at a significant disadvantage despite the bullet points that are included on their sales pages. And please ensure you never buy a website on a custom CMS. This is the absolute worst possible decision you could make, and you will have real problems moving forward because you can't use any web developer. You have to use the web developers that created the website. And that is awful. I've seen it hinder businesses dramatically that have gone this route. So myth number 3, you don't have to continuously work on SEO. You absolutely have to do this. This is entirely untrue. Not only do your searchers, visitors, and patients hunger for fresh, updated content, but the mighty Google is looking for signals that you are constantly staying fresh and that you're the most timely and the most relevant search result to send traffic to. They see freshness of content as a very significant identifier of good companies. The other side to this is that the algorithms are constantly changing, and you have to continuously update and optimize and pivot your website to keep it performing well. We've all been to websites that look very outdated, and this is just another form of that. SEO tactics to avoid in 2024. There are things you should absolutely not be doing that seem very appealing to some people. So, relying on AI, artificial intelligence content alone, this is it's a super buzzword right now. Everybody's hopping on board the AI content train. We've actually been exploring and using AI in one form or another to help with content development for years now. And it's only in the last year that it's started to mature dramatically, but it's still a long way. It only gets you about 50 to 80% of the way done. You have to have people actually reviewing and editing the content, or it will not work very well. The interesting thing is I just saw a stat this week from a study that's showing that AI content doesn't attract, engage, and convert visitors at the same level as well-written human written content. So that's something to keep in mind. And of course, we'll be keeping our ear to the ground on this because it's such an important topic. Number 2, keyword stuffing. Some people think that, hey, if Google wants to see all of these keywords on my website or on a particular web page, because Google really ranks pages, not sites, but as a whole, it's a site. If you use that keyword a whole bunch of times, it's going to help you outrank your competition. There is a little bit of truth to that, in that you do need to write the content in such a way that you are using the appropriate keywords in a way that Google wants to see, but also it has to be very naturally written. So there's quite an art to this. But overusing keywords in a website content, the meta tags or the URLs, the actual address of the page, in an attempt to rank higher will actually hurt you, because Google is looking for this kind of manipulation. Number 3, duplicate content. Copying content from other websites, or even sometimes within your own website itself, has a dramatic effect. Google is looking for unique content across multiple pages, and it's also trying to determine who owns the canonical, so the original content. And so if you're repurposing content, first of all, you need to give other people credit if it's like that, if you took it from somewhere. But then you also have to have the realization that your content is not going to rank as well as the original content provider or creator, because Google knows that it is the originator. Number 4, thin content. Publishing low quality or irrelevant content that doesn't provide value to visitors or answer their search queries is not going to help you. We see this all the time. A lot of people build lots and lots of pages, but they're very thin. There's not a lot of content on there. We see this also if people embed text within images, rather because they want a particular design. This was very common years ago, but we still see it occasionally on websites that we're auditing, where people embed the text within the images. This is useless. It doesn't help you at all from an SEO standpoint. And there's lots of better systems around that help give you flexibility as far as design. So never do that. Cloaking, showing a different content to search engines than what is actually shown to the human visitors. This is a big red X. You don't want to be doing that, and it will hurt your rankings. Buying links, very popular today. There's lots of link buying, backlink buying. Paying for links from other websites in order to boost your own website search engine ranking is not a good strategy. Getting natural, organic backlinks to your website by creating great content is a good strategy. Link exchanges. Trading links with other websites in an attempt to manipulate search rankings does not usually work out very well for either party. Number 8, ignoring technical optimizations. We see this all the time. Businesses, every website, if left to its own demise, will decay over time. I believe it's a third law of thermodynamics I learned in science in high school, that everything falls apart over time. This is absolutely true in websites. We see it all the time when we audit a website. Our clients just aren't aware that they have broken links, that they have broken plugins, that they have broken images, all of those things, that SEO elements aren't working properly, that maybe they don't even have the proper site security or mobile responsiveness or page speed that they thought they did. So ignoring these things can really hurt your website. You have to keep your finger on the pulse of your website at all times. And this is a service we provide to our clients who do websites through us. Number 9, ignoring local SEO. Failing to optimize your website for local search, such as by not including your business address and phone number on your website, or neglecting to claim your Google business listing, your profile listing, can be very harmful to you. Number 10, ignoring user experience. It's all about the user. Yes, we are creating websites and SEO for two audiences. One is the user, because that's the person we're actually trying to get, and then the gatekeeper, which is Google, the robots. So you want to make it easy to navigate. You want to make sure the information is easily found. You want to make sure it loads fast and that it's responsive to the device that they're on. Number 11, focusing too much on rankings. So prioritizing search rankings over creating valuable content. Just talked about why. There's two different audiences there. Now, we've talked about the myths, we've talked about some things you need to avoid. Let's look at some SEO facts you must know in order for success. Number one, the most important thing to remember about SEO is that you need to understand that there are two main audiences, which I shared a second ago. There's the people, the searchers on Google looking for your product or service. And then there's the robots, the algorithms that determine, like Google, like Bing, if your website content matches what people are searching for. And this will go a long way to helping you rank better on search engines. Number two, your website is like your online location. It's been said that if you don't show up on the first page of Google, then you don't exist. Your website is invisible to those searching for your service. If they can't find you, then they can't come to you for you to serve them. So you have to make SEO a priority for your practice. It doesn't happen by itself. It takes investment. Number three, SEO starts with your website. It's got to be set up properly so Google can crawl it and connect it to the keywords that prospects are searching for related to your practice. There are hundreds of factors that affect SEO, and all of them play a part in your rankings, although some have a greater impact than others. Google Business Profiles. It all starts with your website, but there are vital offsite elements you must optimize as well in order to see amazing results. Google My Business, or Google Business Profiles as it's now called, is vital for your ranking on Google. Google loves Google. So if you haven't claimed your Google Business Profile, verified it, and optimized it, and continued to optimize it over time, you won't rank as high as your competition who has done those things. Tip number 5, SEO is your forever friend. I'm often asked how long SEO efforts need to continue to be effective. The answer is until you want to stop ranking on page 1 of Google. SEO isn't a one and done strategy. It's a state of existing as a local business now. If you want to generate business from Google, you have to focus on it today and for as long as your business exists. It's like keeping your actual physical brick and mortar location looking great and attractive. Number 6, hire an expert. SEO is only getting more and more complicated each year, with more factors playing a part. It is a moving target all the time. Without an expert guiding your business and making the optimizations, you will fall behind a business that is doing that. There's meta tags, there's page titles, there's image alt tags, there's keyword aligned content, there's security HTTPS, there's site speed, there's bounce links, the bounce rate, the backlinks, and we could go on and on. You need somebody who eats, breathes, sleeps this kind of stuff and lives to help people succeed in SEO. Tip number 7, don't wait. SEO is not like a light switch. It takes time to grow, but once you get it going and keep it healthy, it will provide a continuous supply of fruit for your business. It is like planting a beautiful tree. You nourish it and it consistently gives you fruit over time. Now, what are some of the high-level SEO superpowers that you need to have in your dental practice? You have to set SEO goals. You always need to start with a plan. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. That's right. And you need to know how you're going to implement it. There are a lot of moving parts, and you need a plan to ensure that you get it done at the right time, in the right way, by the right people. Number 2, you need to benchmark your organic results today before moving forward with your SEO efforts. This will ensure that you can see the results of your efforts and understand the return on your investment. And the only way you can do that is by benchmarking your SEO rankings today and organic data now and tracking it moving forward. I mentioned keyword research before, but you must do keyword research. This is a step that's often missed, especially by laymen who are trying to do this work. This is a vital element. Data that will tell you the most important keywords related to your practices, services in your area. Keyword research will also provide you the direction of how things need to be optimized in order to attract those top performing searches. Without researching what's really happening in search engines and building a prioritized list of keywords, you're really only guessing, and guessing can cost you a very heavy price. Number 4, then you need to create content themes and a content plan so that you build out your content properly. You need to have tasks you'll complete in a particular time frame, or have a list of people who are going to be performing those tasks. Those are the high level SEO superpowers your practice needs in order to help get SEO under control. Now, let's look at the SEO on site superpowers. So, we are looking at the strategic ones a second ago. Let's look at the superpowers you need as a dental marketing hero in order to actually help your website get the rankings it wants. You must fix website issues. These are the things like broken links, missing images, missing tags and titles, using too many H1 tags, having duplicate tags. The list goes on and on. Having light content. When Google sees errors on your website, it sees you as an undependable place to send traffic. Let me say that again, an undependable place to send traffic. And it will hurt your SEO efforts. You want to be a dependable place to send traffic for Google. You need to have a website structure, navigation, and internal linking that absolutely makes sense to people and makes sense to Google. The hierarchy of pages and categorization of blog posts can have a profound impact on your rankings. It's really important to structure your website in order to get maximum results. This is another area that we find a lot of web designers and developers fall short of because they're not thinking strategically, they're thinking from a design perspective. Number 3, this is super geeky, but Google has made a big deal of this over the last couple of years, so you should be making a big deal of it. It's called Google Core Web Vitals, and it's 3 key performance indicators of website user experience. And a lot of it has to do with speed, how quickly someone can click on website elements and whether elements are shifting around. We've all been on those kind of lower quality websites where they have a lot of advertising that pushes content down. This is a bad user experience, and Google does not support that. And so you don't want that on your website. Again, it's super geeky and very technical, but it has had a huge influence on search engine rankings since 2001 and continues to be a huge part of what you need to do in order to rank better. Here's another reason why you should work with a good, reliable SEO agency. We warned our clients ahead of time because Google warned us that this was going to be happening. And this gave us opportunity to actually prepare our clients' websites beforehand so that as soon as these changes took effect, they were climbing through the rankings, whereas their competitors who did not make those changes ahead of time were actually impacted in negative ways. Number 4, mobile optimization is super important today. We all search for things on our phones. We all look for directions. Over the last few years, Google has moved almost all websites to a mobile first algorithm. And this means that if your website isn't optimized to be super fast and work really well on mobile devices, you're already at a huge disadvantage. Image optimization is really key as well, since unoptimized images won't look great on a mobile device, or they'll be bloated and take too long to download. Optimize your images and it will reduce your overall page load times, and you'll be rewarded by Google. Number 5, Google sees your website as a whole, but it also sees and ranks each and every page. In fact, it's your pages and posts that rank for searches, not the website as a whole. So you need to ensure that every page and post is SEO optimized with the right keyword, titles, meta descriptions, alt text, and so on. And don't compete within your own website for the same keywords. Very commonly done. This will result in reduced rankings because Google doesn't know which page is more important for that keyword than the other page. So it splits the traffic, which actually reduces you in the rankings. In the SEO industry, we call this keyword cannibalization, and it's something you need to avoid. Number 6, schema markup has been around for the last 5 years or so, but it's often overlooked, and it's really important. It helps you show up in kind of these specialized sections within Google search that Google wants to show, called knowledge graphs, that help you really pop. and it presents you as an individual result with the information somebody's looking for rather than a website result. So it's really interesting. They're not always easy to rank for, but they're definitely something you should have your eyes on in order to help you rank. So in this example, someone was asking if Invisalign is as good as braces. The first thing that appeared below ads is a knowledge graph powered by schema snippets. So Google is giving this web page special priority because it's valuable educational sought after information. So Google serves it up before the original rankings. So using featured snippets and schema will help you get into this coveted position. It's almost like position 0. When you're not the first ranking result, you're above that. Number 7, the last on-site optimization you should do is consistently create fresh content. Blogging is an ideal way of doing this, and we often use blog posts to rank highly for longer tail search terms, which means the longer search phrases people are using. Can I smoke after a tooth extraction? Or is vaping bad for my teeth? Or how old do you have to be to get Invisalign? Creating fresh content is great for your Google rankings, and it also provides you with the fuel to educate and share valued content with your existing patients via email and on social media. And of course, your content will be guided by your high level, keyword researched content marketing plan that we spoke about earlier. Now let's talk about offsite superpowers that dental marketing heroes need today if you want to be a dental marketing hero. We covered the big picture SEO elements, then we covered the on-site elements. Now let's look at those off-site elements. And these are things that impact your Google rankings that are off your website. So we talked about Google Business Profile before. You absolutely need to claim it. If you haven't claimed it already, you have to verify it. This platform is totally free, but it has a massive impact on your Google rankings for local businesses. You must take the time to properly optimize your profile and know that you are never done optimizing it. It is constantly evolving, constantly changing. Google's adding things. They just added social profile links to it in the last month or so. So you need to absolutely be in there all the time. And sometimes Google makes changes that aren't the things you want on there. So you have to correct those. Your keyword research will again become very helpful in this area. You'll want to optimize to target those keywords, and you need to be posting photos, posts, events, offers regularly on the platform to get the biggest bang for your buck. Number 2, Google reviews and other reviews. Super powerful. Google puts a lot of emphasis in ranking companies with good reviews and a lot of reviews and recent reviews because it shows that you're a good business that serves your customers well. Reviews now impact search rankings and your map listings. Google sees these as so important that it even pulls in review information from other websites like Facebook, Yelp, and others. So you must have a system for consistently asking patients to review you. It's been proven statistically that most patients, most customers do not automatically leave you a review. They need to be prompted simply because they're in a new room in their mind. They forget once they leave, and you just need to remind them and ask them to do it, and they are more than happy to do it. And leveraging social proof, people saying good things about you, can be very powerful when people are searching for a new dentist. Number 3, directory citations. These are basically websites that host directories of businesses and point to your website and your contact information. These should be optimized to the max to include your services, your keywords, and most importantly, ensure that your NAP, your NAP, name, address, and phone number data are identical to what's on your Google Business Profile. If it's different, this will throw doubt into Google's algorithm, and you don't want to throw any doubt in there. Number 4, social profiles. These are a bit like directories in that they point back to your practice. They're a form of backlink. Again, ensure you maximize all the fields and optimize them for keywords in your profile. Ensure your name, address, and phone number are identical to your Google Business Profile. And the added benefit is that when you optimize these, you will also make your practice more findable on those social platforms. Number 5, backlinks to your website. Backlinks are essentially links from other websites that link back to your website. People find your content and they link to it because it was so good. There's a science to optimizing backlinks and an art to getting other websites to link back to your website. Because these provide such powerful signals to Google, they should be part of your overall SEO strategy. The key is finding websites that have a higher domain authority score than you and getting them to link to your website to share some of their powerful Google juice with you. Not all backlinks are good backlinks. A lot of companies out there will sell you backlinks, will get you on backlink on websites that host backlinks basically. And some of these are really poor and they actually hurt your rankings rather than help your rankings. So be very aware of that. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't share some of my favorite top SEO tools. This is where it gets really tangible if you want to do the work or your team wants to do the work. The last optimization you should do is consider the different tools, right? Let's jump into some of these tools. So Google Analytics 4. If you are on Google Analytics, first of all, you absolutely should have the Google Analytics code on your website so that you can track the results of your website. This will show you how many organic, paid, social, referred visitors come to your website. It'll allow you to track over time and do some comparative analysis, take away seasonality. So you're comparing February with February. It's so important and it's free. But just be aware that a year ago, Google updated to Google Analytics 4 and they are no longer supporting the older one. So even if you have the old code on your website, it's not going to be performing what you want it to. Google Search Console. This is really important. It's another free tool, but it allows you to basically see a bit of the back end of what Google is seeing on your website. So if Google flags your website with issues, these will show up in Google Search Console. They also have a little bit of reporting in there, but it's really important to have access to this. It also allows you to have Google manually crawl your website or push it to crawl your website. And that's really important too if you have new content on your website. SEMrush is actually our favorite analytics tool. We use this all the time. It's not a cheap tool, but it is a fantastic tool, not only for finding keywords that are valuable, but also for tracking how your website is performing against the competition for a preset number of keywords. It's really valuable that way. Rank Math. We use Rank Math. There's also Yoast SEO, which is a super common tool for WordPress websites. But we use Rank Math because it is just we find it easier to use. We also like because it gives you a score. And a score is really powerful. Not so much that it will tell you exactly how good you're going to perform on Google, but it's telling you how are you putting in place all of the right things that Google is looking for a particular keyword. And we love the score because we're competitive people and it helps us. Hey, it's a 89 now. I want to get 100, right? Whereas Yoast SEO is just red, yellow, and green lights. Doesn't really give as much feedback. But the thing you need to be aware of these tools is a lot of people who don't understand SEO think that by putting on Rank Math or Yoast SEO or Instant SEO plugin, like that these are going to magically help your website rank. They actually don't. The tools are there as a feedback mechanism to help you optimize the website. They don't do the optimization. So that's really important for people to understand. The plugin is the tool. It's how you use the tool that matters. Ubersuggest is a great tool by Neil Patel, who's an authority in the SEO space. It's cheaper than a lot of the other tools. It gives you some of the functionality of SEMrush. You can get a free level as well, which gives you some good information. It just doesn't go as deep. Ahrefs is another one, and Moz. Those are all good versions of what SEMrush can do. Just different, but we prefer SEMrush. But you need to remember, the tools don't create great search engine optimization results. The person using the tools does. Like this gentleman just doesn't get it. We have covered an awful lot today, and I know for a lot of people, this is just information overwhelm. So let me compress what we've talked about today. In order for your dental or orthodontic practice to be at the top of Google organic rankings to reap the benefits of more new patients acquisition, you need to, number one, ignore the SEO myths and embrace the SEO facts. Number two, you need to implement the high level SEO superpowers we covered, the strategic things that we talked about. Then you need to implement the on site, the website SEO superpowers, those very specific things that you need to implement. Then you need to implement the offsite SEO superpowers, the things that you have control of that are not on your website. If you do this, if you follow this formula and continue to invest in your strategic SEO efforts consistently, you will experience growth in your organic rankings and the number of organic leads you will ultimately get that will lead to new patients and increased revenue. I know it's a lot of information to understand, and it's even harder to implement. It takes a lot of training and experience in order to do it well. And for most dentists, you actually don't want to do that. You actually don't care. You just want the new patients to come into your practice, to call you, to complete some forms, to fill the chairs. And that's what we understand, and that's what we exist for. We are your external partner to help with that. And that's where we come in. Our Dental Marketing Heroes team is here to help you. We've become very well known for our expertise in the SEO world. We're a National Excellence Award-winning agency. For the past 4 years, we've been named a top SEO agency and a top web design agency. We are an SEO for Growth certified consultant, and we're a strategy first master certified duct tape marketing consultant, which is a strategic process. I also co-host a weekly small business marketing podcast called Marketing Guides for Small Business. And I had the pleasure of co-authoring a book about local SEO called Content Marketing for Local Search: How to Create Content That Google Loves and Prospects Devour, which you can get on Amazon. Or drop me a link and I will send you a copy. So all that is to say that my team and I can help you with your SEO, and you would be in very good hands. And we are very passionate about it. We find that when we implement our comprehensive marketing engine into practices, we consistently achieve a greater than 5 times the return on investment. So that means that if you invest $1,000, you will see a $5,000 or more back usually. And if you do multiples of that, you get the math. And SEO is a key part of our formula for doing that. So if you're interested in learning more, please schedule a free marketing consultation with me. And I wanted to also offer a free SEO playbook that you can get by scanning this QR code on the left, and then on the right, if you want to get a free scan of your SEO on your website, you can do that there. And of course, I want to make myself available to you for a free discovery call. Just click on the link in the email that will follow this webinar to book a time, or pop onto the website and you'll see the link there. Lastly, I'd like to invite you to join us for the next webinar in our series. And this will cover the important topic of data-driven success, the dental marketing metrics that matter most to dentists. In this webinar, I'll be sharing how using data to make decisions is the only way for you to achieve great return on your marketing investment. What metrics you should be tracking as a dental clinic, which metrics are misleading, and how to avoid the paralysis of data overwhelm. So don't miss this important topic. It will be on the first Friday in April, which is April the 5th at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard. I hope to see you there. And in the meantime, keep calm and mark it on, folks. Bye for now.